For almost a month now, I've been diving into classic stories and franchises for the first time, trying to see if they can make me feel what everyone else felt, and along the way one name keeps coming up: Lord of the Rings. People keep telling me it's the greatest trilogy ever made, and somehow, like usual, I've never seen a single second of it, not even a clip.
Oh my god.
So today I'm sitting down to watch all three movies. No nostalgia, no expectations, just one goal: to see if this trilogy can make me feel what it made millions of other people feel. With that in mind, I went straight into the first movie. Going into this movie, I had no idea what I was stepping into. My only real exposure to Lord of the Rings was this one joke from a completely different movie.
You are the Samwise Gamgee to my Frodo Baggins.
So when I looked it up and saw it was a fantasy trilogy, I'm not gonna lie, I got nervous. I don't watch many fantasy movies, and the ones I have seen never really pulled me in. But everyone kept saying the same thing: this is one of the greatest trilogies ever made. So I hit play, kept an open mind, and let the movie take over. And right away, it did. That opening battle, the history of the ring and the way it lays out all the stakes, it felt massive. Like this huge ancient mission suddenly landing on someone as small and ordinary as Frodo. And speaking of Frodo and Gandalf, finally seeing characters whose names I've heard about, but never actually had the context for. It's always pretty cool. The characters overall were solid, even if I didn't fully love all of them yet. Frodo starts off almost playing on purpose, just a regular hobbit thrown into something he was never built for. But that's what makes him interesting. You can see the world and the ring slowly shaping him. And of course the ring hooked me the most. Every time Frodo touches it, the entire tone shifts. The sound changes, the air feels heavier, it draws in danger, and it strains relationships. You start seeing how it exposes the weakest pieces of everyone around it. And I kept asking myself a couple of questions. For one, does the ring only turn you invisible? But the bigger question was, if Frodo was already struggling this early, what does that mean for the rest of his journey? Gandalf instantly became one of my favorites. He's wise, charming, funny when he needs to be, and easily the moral compass of the group. So when he fell, that shocked me. However, going into the next movie and seeing him still fighting that same demon, yeah, I knew he was going to be a top 3 character for sure. Aragorn grabbed my attention just as fast. A cool, mysterious ranger who carries himself like a leader long before anyone calls him one. Every time he stepped forward, the Fellowship felt more capable. Then there's Boromir, the first real example of how corrupting the ring actually is. Watching him fall then redeem himself hit pretty hard. Sam, Merry, and Pippin all play their role as well. Sam is the loyal friend, and Merry and Pippin are the comic relief. I'm not gonna lie though, Pippin might get on my nerves.
Throw yourself in next time and rid us of your stupidity.
But I can already tell they're going to grow, and I was curious to see how. The Fellowship might be the strangest lineup ever assembled. A wizard, a mysterious ranger, an elf, a stubborn dwarf, 2 chaotic troublemakers, the most loyal friend ever, and a hobbit carrying a literal curse. But somehow it all works. The world building is also what really pulled me in. It really feels like you're traveling along with them. Step by step, Middle Earth gets bigger. You go from the peaceful Hobbit hills to dangerous mountains and forests. But I'm not gonna pretend that it was perfect, at least for me. Even though I really enjoyed it, I definitely felt the 3-hour runtime. There were also moments where I wasn't sure if I was supposed to understand certain lore, or if I was just being dropped into a world that had decades of history and I was just supposed to go with it. So by the time the credits rolled, I was left with this strange mix of feelings. I didn't fall in love with the Fellowship, but I did discover a world I wanted to understand. I wasn't fully invested yet, but something about it kept pulling me forward. Because even with my mixed reaction, I still want to understand why millions of people say this is the greatest trilogy ever made. And because of that, I decided to go straight into the next one. Going into this movie, I had a couple of goals. Of course, I still wanted to see if this trilogy could make me feel what everyone else feels about it, despite fantasy not really being my thing. But I also wanted to see where every character's journey was heading, and how far were they willing to go. And right away this movie delivers on that. You immediately feel how separated and scattered the characters are, and how each one is starting a journey that changes them in completely different ways. Frodo especially. Like I said before, in Fellowship, Frodo felt like a regular guy, an almost blank slate, someone who got pulled into something he never asked for. But here you see the ring really start to take effect on him. His voice, his eyes, the way he moves, he's not the same hobbit we met earlier. He's slowly being torn apart by something he can't control. And the movie doesn't need long speeches to show that. You see it in every quiet moment between him and the ring. And while Frodo is breaking, Sam is becoming something new. In Fellowship, he was the loyal friend, the I'm going with him guy. But now he transforms into the strength that Frodo doesn't have anymore. Sam becomes the heart of this story, and the one who's keeping Frodo from collapsing completely. Then there's Gollum. I honestly didn't expect much from him, but he ended up being one of the most interesting characters in the whole movie. The split personality and the way he switches between broken and dangerous is so creative. And it adds more tension because every time he talks to himself, you're reminded, this is what Frodo could become. It's kinda creepy and sad all at once, and I didn't expect to feel that from him. Meanwhile, the trio feel more alive than ever. Aragorn especially. He starts to step into that leadership role the story has been hinting at. He's not perfect, but you understand why people follow him. Legolas and Gimli surprised me too. Their banter gives the movie personality when it needs it the most, and this movie doesn't hold back with the battles. Helm's Deep is easily one of the best large-scale battles I've ever seen. The action is great, but what really sets it apart is the emotion. You feel the fear in the villagers, the desperation in the soldiers, and the weight on Aragorn's shoulders as he tries to hold everything together. It feels like you're watching a city fight for its last breath. And when the elves arrive, and when the sun rises over the battlefield, every moment lands. But the thing that keeps me the most locked in, just like before, is the ring. Every time someone gets near it, you understand exactly how dangerous it is, and that slow erosion of trust and sanity just hangs over the entire movie. So when it ends with Gollum deciding he's going to take the ring back, I wasn't just invested, I felt uneasy. Because if things were already falling apart this badly, I can only imagine how dark the final chapter was going to get. And with that feeling sitting on my chest, I went straight into the next movie. Going to this movie, I already knew it was going to be good. The last two movies were very consistent with its quality, but I didn't know this movie was going to be this emotional. The stakes were huge, the battles hit hard, and the scale was insane. But honestly, what sold me on this movie wasn't even the war, it was the characters and their journeys. The film opens with Gollum's backstory, and for the first time it hit me that he wasn't born like this. He wasn't some fantasy creature like an elf or a hobbit, he was just a person. A normal person who stumbled into something too powerful for anyone to survive. And instantly it reframed Frodo's entire story for me. Because watching Frodo in this movie genuinely hurt. He's definitely not the same hobbit from Fellowship. He's not even really the same from the last movie. He feels way more hollow, and he's barely holding on. It's like the ring isn't something he carries anymore. It's something that wears him, and every step he takes, something in him cracks. Trust, hope, strength, even his belief in Sam. And that is what makes Sam's arc absolutely heartbreaking. If Fellowship introduced me to Sam, if Two Towers made me respect him, Return of the King made me understand he was the best character in my opinion. Sam was obviously protecting Frodo, but I felt like he was also protecting the memory of who Frodo used to be. He's carrying both of them, literally and emotionally, when Frodo can't carry himself anymore. Aragorn's journey hit harder this time around too. He feels like he's wrestling with his destiny. Half of him wants to rise and the other half feels unworthy. But when he finally stops running from who he is, he becomes the king Middle-earth needed, not just the ranger we met in Fellowship. Even Pippin, someone who annoyed me at first, finds his purpose. And it was around this point where I realized something about myself. By the time Frodo, Sam, and Gollum reached Mount Doom, it didn't feel like I was just watching a story anymore. I was emotionally locked in, invested in a way I didn't expect from a fantasy trilogy I was nervous to even start. And when Frodo finally broke, when Gollum seized the ring, and when the fire swallowed it up for good, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. And in that moment, it finally clicked for me. Frodo wasn't supposed to be the undefeatable hero. His failure didn't make him weak, it just shows exactly what the ring does. Not to the corrupt, but to the good. And then the moment that genuinely got me, the entire kingdom bows to the hobbits. The smallest and most unlikely heroes in the entire story. No magic, no crazy weapons, nothing but courage, heart, and the willingness to keep walking when every stronger warrior fell. And when Frodo leaves Sam, Merry, and Pippin, that got me. Because even after everything they survived together, they still didn't all make it home the same way. And usually this is where I say I get the hype, but I came away with more than just that. I feel like I finally understand the hype, the love, the passion, and the emotional weight behind this trilogy. And it wasn't because of the big battles. It wasn't because of the fantasy. It wasn't even because it was iconic, but because it showed me how much a person can lose just to give others a chance to live. And that's why Return of the King and the entire trilogy hit me in a way I'd never expected. Real quick, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support you've shown this channel so far. If you'd like to help me keep creating more videos like this and many more, I just launched a Patreon. It's completely optional, but it would mean the world. And of course, thanks for watching.